We flop an 8 here. No backdoor flush for us. I think this is worth peeling 1. We do end up folding, not a huge mistake. I think the fact that there's a player still left to act behind us makes it more towards a fold. I think it's a close situation where you'd want to peel 1 to see what happens. Perhaps you get a free river. Perhaps we're ahead, or a lot of good things can happen by just peeling. Of course, this guy behind us can still check raise, but a little less likely since he was a limper. So at least I believe he was a limper. I won't rewind because it's not terribly important, but. And then just a little further discussion on that ace-8 suited. That's a hand that you can really pound this guy's head in with. You are able to take advantage of his overall bad play and looseness pre-flop by opening your 3-betting range against him. And with dead money there out of the picture, that's a good hand that you'd want to 3-bet. Now, if he opens and dead money here 3-bets himself, do you 4-bet? That would be a little pretty wild. In certain situations, I think it's okay. If Anonymous is on like full-blown tilt and he's just opening literally every single hand, I think 4-betting the ace-8 suited would be fine, since dead money would be 3-betting a very, very, very wide range. Basically, what you'd be doing is when Anonymous opens dead money 3-bets, you're 4-betting your normal 3-betting range, ace-8 suited being in your 3-betting range. So that would become okay to 4-bet if that situation arose where he was opening every hand. If he's opening every hand, basically dead money's 3-betting range has become his 2-betting range. So your 4-betting range can become your 3-betting range. Likewise, if Anonymous limps and dead money opens, your 3-betting range can be guided down close to your 2-betting range, although not quite that far, because dead money isn't going to be opening like that much more than he normally would be, but he certainly will be isolating a little lighter, so you can open up your 3-betting range to make that a little lighter as well to respond. Okay. I suppose I didn't need to pause to talk about that, but anyway. The King 3, reasonable defend. That this hand was dealt 5-handed, so this guy's under the gun range. It was really a hijack range raise, so it's fine to defend that. If this were 6-handed, it becomes a little bit closer. Against a 22-18 type in a 6-handed game, I think it's closer to a fold, just because he's a tighter player and you really risk that nightmare scenario where he has something like King-Queen. But otherwise okay. And this Jack-10 off here, you do want to isolate the bug. It's such a good spot. You really want to take advantage of the fact that you're directly to the left of this really, really weak player by playing a lot more hands than you normally would. So this qualifies as one of those hands you'd want to open. You don't have a terribly loose, aggressive guy behind you. From these stats, he appears to only be 27-12 after a big sample. So this is not somebody you'd really worry about. Moving back to the left with the King-8, this was one of those hands again. I watched the first time and I was like, wow, snap 3-bet. But of course, as we saw with the King-9, King-8 is significantly worse since you lose all the straight possibilities. So certainly King-8 is not a hand you'd 3-bet in that spot. This is another interesting spot, and again brings up this interesting dynamic that continues with this Anonymous guy being involved in a lot of pots. How do we respond to that? This is a hand I would be opening and trying to play against him. One of the issues that you're dealing with is the fact that he goes to showdown a lot. 49% is a lot. That's good and bad. First of all, you have to make a hand, basically. But when you do, you're able to draw max value even when you flop a pair like a pair of 6s with as weak as an 8 kicker, bottom pair, type of hand you can just value bet every street with comfortably. So that went to showdown number is kind of interesting because it can be good and bad. We do want to look at what our FBB of the big blind is. That's going to be a factor in deciding. FBB of 100 after 50 hands is not something that's material. Definitely not useful information after 100 hands, but just interesting to note. Adds to us. Adds reason why we'd want to play the hand. But just overall, it's strong enough to play. All else being equal, 6-8 suited is fine. An isolation hand on the button against weak opponents is fine. So But we folded, and it's, again, not a huge mistake, but I think it's a spot where you can grind out a little bit of an edge with that hand. I think it does have positive expected value.